Well, students, good evening to all of you. So today we are going to discuss another important topic of research, which is research problem. Right, guys? So under this topic, research problem, we will discuss concept, meaning of research problem, sources of research problem, selections of research problem, how to define the statement of research problem, next formulation of research problem, delimitations, and in last we will discuss characteristics of good research problem. Okay, so first of all, before starting this topic, I just want to show you your syllabus, okay, so that you will come to know what we are discussing, right, guys? So as you know that this is our first year paper. There are 4 theory paper and 2 practical paper, right? First paper, psychology of learning and development. Second, history and political economy of education. Third, educational study. Fourth, introductions to research method. So we are discussing the lecture paper 1 and paper 4, right? So, I open a second slide so that in detail you will come to know that what we are discussing. So this is your, syllabus, right? Psychology of learning and development. You can see that whatever I have put it as a red and underline. So this we have covered in the previous classes. Okay, guys. So you know that we have to do the 4 papers, theory papers. So whatever we are finishing, okay. So I'm putting red. So paper 1 and paper 4 I have started. So under the paper 1, unit 1 we have finished, and unit 3 we finished the intelligence also. If you remember, the last time we finished the intelligence and its theories, right? And under the paper 4, this is the introductions to research method, right? We have already finished, unit 1, research, types of research, all the 3 types of research. And the last lecture was a review of related literature. Okay. So today I'm discussing this one, research problems. Okay, so that you will come to know that unit 1, chapter 2, research problems, right, guys? So closing this also. So I have come on the today's topic, research problem. You have come to know immediately. This is a after the review of related literature. I have already told you that this is the new paper in your syllabus. Okay, other 3 papers are very much easy papers. You have covered in the B.Ed also. So that's why I have started the 4th one first. Okay, so that you will get the time to learn it. Okay, paper would start in the month of the March, right, guys? So we start with the research problem, right? So first of all, you have to understand what is the research problem. So my dear students, research problem is the very first step in the research process. This is the first step, research problem. Research problem means research questions that researchers want to answer. You are the researcher. You are doing the MEd, right? You are the researcher, because MEd may you have to do the research, right? So these questions can become a research problem or a research topic for your study. Basically, research problem means questions that researchers wants to answer. Is research problem is a statement about an area of concern, a condition to be improved, a difficulty to be eliminated. Okay. A research problem is exactly that, a problem that someone would like to research. Research means study. Research means problem. Okay. So you should know now what is the research problem basically, right? How to select a research problem. What are the sources of research problem? How to formulate the research problem, right? So this is a very first step. That's why it is written. So according to the Kerlinger, one definition is given of Kerlinger. If it is a problem, is an interrogative sentence or statement that asks what relation exists between 2 or more variables The answer to questions will provide what is having sought in the research. So basically it is talking about the, two variables. Now we'll come to know that because in a research problems, basically we talk about the variables, we define the variables. Okay. So example of a research problem, you can see that. For example, if the question is, you can see that what impact does social media have on people's mind? For example, you make it, Hana, because you don't know the procedure. But if you have written this, guys, this is a statement. This is not a complete research problem because what is lacking in this, what impact does social media have on people's mind? What is lacking? How do you transform this question into a research problem or a research topic? What type of a social media do you like to study? Right? So here it is written, na? What impact does social media? What type of a media? Twitter है, YouTube है, LinkedIn है, Facebook है, Instagram है. You didn't define it. And specify the people age. Here you have written impact on the, what impact does social media have on people's mind? You never talk about, you never defined on the kids, on the adolescents, on the adults. Okay. Right? Then what kind of effect? Whether here you have written an impact. Impact means effect. What kind of effect? Social effect, psychological effect, economic effect. Right? So basically, today we are discussing the research problem. How to define a research problem? What are the sources of research problem? Okay. Whether research problem is a statement or it is a something else. Hana, right? Because, not any statement can be a research problem, right? Mind it. Not any statement. You can't say that. You are written a very loose statement. So this is a very loose statement. What impact does social media have on people's mind? Okay. When you reframe it, now you can see at the bottom, what impact does daily use of Facebook have on study attention of under 90s? So guys, this is your research problem because it is talking about social media, which is a Facebook, right? Under 19, talking about the adolescents and impact, what kind of a impact, further you can define it. Okay. So this question defines its concepts clearly. It is a researchable through both qualitative and quantitative research methods. Okay. So now we talk about the sources of research problem. Okay. You have come to know that whenever you have to define any research problem, you have to define, completely. Okay. So it should be, talking about, for example, Hana, I go back on the previous slide. What impact does daily use of a Facebook have on the study attention under 90s? Right? So there is a one variable Facebook, adolescents, okay, impact, right? So otherwise the previous one was very loose statement. So you should know that not any statement can be a research statement, can be a research problem. We have to reframe it, right? So that's why we have reframe it. Okay. Now we talk about what are the sources of research problem. From where we will get the research problem. Sometimes, question comes in your mind. So guys, you are dealing with the students, you are dealing with the teaching learning process. So these are the sources. Classroom teaching, there is a lot of problem. Even education system is a problem, right? So there's a lot of problem in the education system, right? Classroom teaching, consultation with the research supervisor, classroom lectures, classroom discussion, seminar reports, critical appraisal of literature, previous research. Sometime previous research, you have to modify that. Existing theories, performance improvement, activities, brainstorming, intuition, folklores, exposure to field situation, consultation with experts. So these are the basically, sources of the research problem, right? So any social issue. So these are the sources, right? These are the sources of research problems. Okay. So next we talk about, selection of research problem. This is again very important. Selection of research problem, right? This is a previous slide. Sources of research problem. These are the sources. You can pick any research problem from, these are the sources and, many more. Okay. But next, selections of research problem. Guys, these are very critical step. Okay. Because if you have taken a, research problem without mentioning or without keeping in mind these all the steps. Okay. So because whole of the 2 year you have to do this. Okay. So if you don't have this, all the things, all the points in your mind, so later on, okay, you can come in trouble. Okay. Because you didn't discuss all the steps first before taking a research statement, research problem. Now, whenever you have to define a research problem, selections of a research problem. So guys, these are some of the points which you have to keep in your mind. This is called the research methodology basically, right? So whenever you have to select the research problem, you have to keep in your mind personal inclination, resource availability, relevance, researcher's knowledge, practicality, timelines of the problem, data availability, urgency, feasibility, area culture, ethical issues. Right? For example, you have selected any of research problem. Okay. But when you are proceeding and later on, you will come to know that the data is not available. Right? And you have at least finished 7 or 8 months. So then what will happen? Your whole research would be rejected, would go into the ruin, right? So whole of the work, whatever you have done, so it would be, wastage of time, wastage of a time and money, right? So these things you have to take in your mind first, whether whatever the research problem you are going to select, okay, whether data available, data is available or not, right? There is a feasibility, there is a timelines of the problem, right? You have to delimit the problem, you have to finish it within a 1.5 year or 2 years, okay, right? Later on you can't decide, because later on you can't know, you will never know, okay, how the time is passing. So these all the points first you have to keep in your mind, right? Whether because personal inclination first is. So guys, this point tells you whatever the topic you have to select, you should have interest regarding that topic, right? Resources, whether the resources are available or not. Okay. So whatever the topic you have chosen, whether it is a relevance or not, right? There is a practicality or not. So these are all the points, data is available or not, right? So this is the selections of the research problem. Okay. Next, defining the research problem, defining a statement of the research problem. Okay. So hence, once a research problem has been identified, now you have identified a research problem. First, you will come to know about the research problem. Second, you will come to know about what are the sources of research problem. Third, you will come to know about the selection of research problem. Whenever we have to select these points, you have to keep in your mind whether your research problem meeting these criteria or not, right? Now you have to define the research problem. So when the research problem has been identified, the research problem needs to be defined. The definition of the problem amounts to specifying it in detail and narrowing it down to a workable size. For example, what impact does daily use of a Facebook have on study attentions of under 90s? Here, we have come to know that social media Facebook. It means we will talk about the Facebook in whole of the research. Okay, basically, Facebook is our variable. We are not talking about the YouTube. This is another social media, Instagram, Twitter, right? To Facebook. And people age 19. We will select the people adolescents, right? We will select any of the class, 8th, 9th, 10th class, adolescents. We are not, we will not select the kids or adults. Okay. This is the, defining when you are going to define it. And what kind of a impact you want to say that social and psychological impact. This is very much clear. Okay. So guys, that's why, it is said that your statement, your research statement talks about everything. Your research statement talks about your thesis, right? 100 pages thesis, which you have to write in the MEd course, and in the PhD course, you have to write 300, 350 or 400 pages. So statement, talks about each and everything. Like, it is said that now face is the index of the mind. Similarly, statement talks about, everything what is in your, thesis, in your dissertation. Okay. So from that statement, you have, come to know that now we talk about characteristics or defining statement of a research problem. Okay, so whenever you have to define the research problem, so what are the characteristics? Number one, the research problem is to be adequately and clearly phrased and stated. And just example, you have seen that. Okay, in the last slide. Next, be sure that the topic chosen is neither too vague nor too broad in scope. Okay, because you have to finish within a timeline. That's why now you have seen that some of the students, they start the research, scholars, they start the research. Okay. If they don't consider these all the points beforehand, so what happens? Okay. They go on increasing the time. They complete their MEd, PhD in, many years. Okay. Next, research problem should be simple, clear, and straightforward. Neither hiding anything nor over speaking anything. The language should be simple, clear, and straight. It should address the gap in the knowledge. Okay. You can consult any of the research paper which has written by someone else in the previous. Okay. And you can find those gaps and you can work on those gaps. Are you getting my point? Right? It should be significant enough to contribute to the existing body of research. And this is an important one. Your research problem, it should lead to the further research. So guys, whatever you are looking with your open eyes, the room, the, building, the classes, each and everything, this is a result of the research. Even, aeroplane, it is a result of the research. Even this is a mobile. Okay. Just see the mobile in my hand. Okay. This is a result of the research, right? 50 years before, it was not possible. Okay. So then, someone talked about, one day such kind of a technology would come, okay, in your hand, on your palm. So this is a result of the research, right? It should lead to the further research. It doesn't mean, mobiles are coming in this size. We never know in the further after 20 years what will happen. The size would be decreased. Yet there would be another technology. Are you getting my point? So there is all, whatever we look, this is a result of the research. That's why now it is called research. RE plus search. Whatever we have searched till today, we have to research. Again, we have to research. Right? Because that's why now, teacher and principal must have research aptitude. Research must have research attitude. Right? So basically, what is the problem and what is the solution of that? If you don't know how to solve the problem, you're not a good principal, right? So research tells you what are the steps, how to start with the research problem and how to end it. What is the root cause? First of all, you have to find it, right? So that's why it is in your syllabus now, because you are going to become administrator, right? Principal is the administrator basically, right? Means less of teaching, more of administrator, right? Otherwise, so when you sit on your chair, you will sit on your chair morning and up to 3 or 4 o'clock. There is always a problem which will come in front of you, and if you don't know how to solve it, right, so you will fail. Even you will not progress, means your school will not progress, right? Because all the responsibilities on the teacher. That's why it is in you, on principal, that on the head principal administrator. That's why it is in your syllabus, right? So now it is telling you, for example, I started with the one loose statement. When I reframe it, so then it is, we can say that it is a research question, research problem, right? So research, what is a research problem, sources of research problem, how to define a research problem, right? We are talking, after this we'll talk about formulation. Okay, first we complete it. So it should lead to the further research. The problem should render itself to investigation through collection of data, right? So this is a statement or characteristics of how to define and statement of the research problem. Okay, now we talk about formulation of research problem, right? Whatever the topic we have selected now. What does social media, which is a Facebook, okay, impacts on the adolescents or the under 90s? Okay, but there is a need to formulate more. Okay, so under the formulation of a research problem, what we do, okay, under this formulation of a research problem, this enable you to make a purpose of your study clear to yourself and target readers. Formulating a research problem is important because of the quality and relevancy of research work completely depends on it. This is the most important. Formulating a research problem requires a series of steps given below, right? Number one, identify the broad study area, dissect the broad study area into sub areas, mark up your interest, study research questions, assess your objective, check back. Okay, then delimitations of research problem. Okay, this is the most important delimitations. In a practical, examiner asks from you, okay, what is the difference between delimitations and limitation? Okay. So because this is a, starting point, okay, before selecting any of the research topic. Delimitation of a research problem means specifying to what is to be done with the problem and what of the same is not to be done with the problem. This is the, delimitation. So basically, I say that, it is your control. Delimitation means, okay, you have to delimit the problem. Well, what is to be done with the problem, what is not to be done with the problem. Okay, first you define it. This is called delimitation. And limitations kya cheez hai? What is limitation? Matlab, we know that this is a limitation of this. Okay, we cannot go beyond. Okay, but delimitation means what is to be done with the problem and what of the same is not to be done with the problem. Okay, and further delimitation, basically it narrows your study to make it more manageable and relevant to what you are trying to prove. Okay, so for example, earlier it was what social life, social media impact on people's mind. So people mind was not clear. So when you delimit it, okay, what impact of Facebook on adolescents or under 90s, Hana? Now you have delimited, right? You come to know that your target audience is adolescents, right? Next, the delimitation of the study is the explanation of the scope of your study. Delimitations are the definitions you set as a boundaries of your own thesis or dissertation. Ye dekho, this is the most important. Okay. Delimitation means you set as the boundaries of your thesis or dissertation. So delimitations are in your control. So example of delimitations include research objectives, research questions, variables, theoretical objectives that you have adopted, population chosen as target to study, and statistical analysis techniques. Right, guys? Now, in last, we talk about what are the characteristics of the good research problem. ये देखो एक वो line ही है. We are talking about one line when we select that. Okay. So how it becomes a research problem. Okay. By going through working on these, all the things. Okay. So that's why, I always say that not every statement is your research problem. Okay. So what are the characteristics of a good research problem? So we are just talking about here, whatever the problem you are going to be selected. So, that problem should meet all the, points. Number one, good research problem must be researchable, right? Good research problem can be stated clearly and concisely. Next, good research problem generates research questions. Next, the variables in the problem must be clear. What are the variables you have to keep in your mind? Okay, by, same example, variables are Facebook, right? Because what was our research problem? What is the name of the topic? What impact Facebook, social media on the, habits on, on the behavior, on the minds of, adolescents, right? So Facebook is the, one variable you can say that. Next is adolescents or psychological problems, right? It must have a goal. Next, characteristics of a good research problem. Then it should relate to one or more academic field of the study. Next, it should have base in the research literature. Okay, then next, what are the characteristics of a good research problem? Sufficient data are available or can be obtained. Okay, adolescents you have selected, you can get adolescents in every school. Anna guys, right? So you have to see that first. Sufficient data should be available first. The researcher's methodological strength can be applied to the problem. Next, it should be free from ethical constraints. And last, it should have potential to suggest directions for further research. Whatever the topic research problem you select, that problem topic should have scope for the further research. Right, guys? So thank you so much for today's lecture. So what we have done today, right? In a first, we talked about, meaning of research problem. But before this, I talk about, okay, what we have already discussed under this paper, under the research paper. The first, if you remember, I talked about what is a research, right? Then I talked about educational research, right? Then third, I talked about three types of, educational research. Then, in the fourth lecture, I discuss about review of related literature, right? Now I'm discussing about the research problem. And today we have come to know that whenever we have to select the research problem, okay, we have to see all the points. What are the sources of research problem, selection of research problem, defining statement of the research problem, how to formulate the research problem, okay, how to set the delimitations of the research problem, and what are the characteristics of a research problem. Okay, guys. In the next lecture, I'll discuss hypothesis and then I will discuss sampling. Okay, hypothesis and sampling. Okay, so thank you for this today's lecture. Now see your syllabus. Okay, so I end up this slide. Okay, and I open your syllabus. So I'm going to close it and open your syllabus, right? So you can mute yourself. Okay, one voice are coming from the backside. So please, you can mute yourself. You can mute, guys. Okay, otherwise I have muted. Okay, we see our syllabus. Okay, this one med. So now guys see the syllabus because now these topics are interlinked. Okay, so this is the fourth one. This one. Okay, see it. ये देखो. Unit 1 educational research we have finished. राइट मीनिंग नेचर सेकंड थर्ड देखो आप ठीक है सोर्सेज ऑफ नॉलेज उसको छोड़ के मीनिंग नेचर नीड एंड स्कोप ऑफ एजुकेशनल रिसर्च टाइप्स ऑफ रिसर्च फंडामेंटल अप्लाइड एंड एक्शन राइट देन फॉर्मुलेशन ऑफ रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम आ गया ना सेकंड टॉपिक फॉर्मुलेशन ऑफ रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम विच वी डिस्कस टुडे राइट क्राइटेरिया एंड सोर्सेज ऑफ आइडेंटिफाइंग रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम okay and review of related literature okay read whatever I have done read okay you have to see अब देखो immediately the next topic starts hypothesis and after that sampling तो आपके ये 2 यूनिट कंप्लीट हो गए हैं मतलब in the next lecture it would be completed okay and even I have given you the notes also okay you can download from my telegram channel and you can directly ask from me okay ये these 2 units अब next unit third or fourth talks about the statistics okay but before going that I want that okay this thing should be clear to you okay now I show you my notes which I have given to you okay so this is the notes you can say that okay ye notes I have given to you you can see that guys okay ye dekho educational research okay first is research then okay ye dekhiye educational research right yeah this is 62 pages okay so all the 2 units your 2 units okay 62 pages I have given to you okay so please learn it okay because I'll take the further I can take a test okay after 15 days or 20 days I can take the test of these 2 units so please learn it because this is a new paper for you. Okay. Other papers are easy paper. Basically, these are the extensions of the B.Ed. Okay. Educational psychology, educational studies. Okay. Because now this paper is a, new for you. That's why, I started from this, right? Educational research, you have got the notes also, right? Okay, then purpose and importance of educational research ये last year questions आया था okay you can see from the last year paper I have also shared the paper with you last time questions आया था ना it was a full-fledged questions what do you understand by the educational research okay define its purpose and characteristics okay so and types of educational research ये देखिए basic applied and actions okay I have already discussed okay with you in detail right all the threes next steps in educational research okay these are the steps identifying reviewing reformulating and this all right limitations of educational research and then ethical issues first and then second is review of related literature so this is the notes of my previous lectures today I have given to you of the 62 pages so this is the important guys start learning side by side because I take only 1 or 2 lectures and whole of the week you have right ये देखिए review of related literature right purpose of and sources of literature writing review right and this is a today's notes research problem ये देखो today we talk about research problem है ना Kerlinger definitions right what are the sources of research problem ये देखो सारे sources हैं right so you have to define over there okay all resources selections of research problem so whenever you have to select the research problem तो ये देखो ये सारे points आ गए personal inclination resource availability relevance practicality right then defining the statement of the research problem ये देखो जॉन डेवे ने कितना अच्छा बोला है what the John Dewey has said a problem properly stated is half solved right statement of the research problem then ye dekho formulations of research problem right identify the broad areas dissect the broad areas into sub areas mark up your interest right and in delimitation of research problem right how to delimit characteristics of a good research problem. हाँ, ये सारे characteristics थे. हाँ, अभी we have just finished. Okay. Okay. Then ये fourth is hypothesis and fifth is sampling. Okay. I have given you the notes advance. Okay. Next topic we will discuss hypothesis and sampling. So 2 units we will finish completely. Okay. Then we will move to the unit 3rd and unit 4th, which is a statistics part. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for this lecture. Thank you so much once again to all of you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to stop the session, right? Stop the video. Thank you.